Did you know there are experts right here in Dubai who can end your postpartum woes at your home, at your convenience, on your demand? Please welcome Deepa Bellani, the CEO and founder of 2844. We are aware of a lot of postpartum difficulties, and I know there is a study which says that 1 among 7 females can have postpartum depression. Can you narrate me one story which has really struck your heart?
Oh wow, yeah, what a question. Absolutely right. Women go through this super crazy postpartum depression which goes completely unrecognized at times. And there is one particular recent incident that comes to my mind when I say that. So we did have a patient come client who came to us, and she belongs to a very happy family. So it's not that, there were family struggles or, financial issues or anything like that. But she was so unhappy with this whole post-pregnancy thing that every time, our therapist would hug, she would just melt. And she, at the end of the therapy, she messaged us saying that, your hugs saved me. So all that love and support is all that women need. I think rest everything we are capable enough to take care of.
You're right. What was your challenge being a mom?
Oh, so I'm a mother to 2 beautiful kids. The second pregnancy was a planned one. So we were well prepared for, in terms of, yes, we do want this. And I've been a working woman always. I was working even then. The moment I delivered, I was questioning myself. I was crying at the slightest thing. And I belong to a very supportive family. My in-laws, my parents, my husband are very, very supportive. So it's not like I did not have hands on deck. But for some odd reason, I couldn't figure out why I was sad the entire time. I don't remember the first maybe 3 or 4 months that I was happy with the decision. And I kept thinking that why have I put this pause in my life? And I just couldn't relate. And it was the second time. So it's not like I didn't know what to do with the baby or myself, but I just couldn't relate. I was crying at the slightest thing, at the slightest missed opportunity, or at the slightest, health issue or anything. I would just cry. And I don't think that's a pleasant experience at all for any woman to go through. And I wish I knew that this was postpartum depression that I was going through. And I wish I had professional care then.
This is what, it's not just that you can have this kind of issues when just after the first pregnancy. You can even have it on the second, maybe on the third. It's something that females should really understand, that mental well-being is very important.
100%.
So Deepa, coming to the preparation part, is there something that the mother should prepare during her pregnancy? Is there something that we have to focus during the pregnancy?
For sure. So one thing is that once you deliver, everything changes, right? So from the day that you decide that you are wanting this child or wanting this pregnancy, everything pretty much changes for the woman more than anybody else. There are several aspects to the preparation bit, right? One thing is your physical well-being. So I do suggest that you go to professional yoga classes or Pilates or whatever works, pelvic floor exercises, basically to ensure that you're prepared, right? Prepared for the delivery, prepared for the post-delivery. Second is your mental well-being. So, listening to meditative videos, mingling with parent groups, mingling with other to-be moms, or discussing, or going to forums, going to these prenatal, postnatal classes done by the hospitals or other caregivers. Then comes the within the family aspect of it, right? So you have to ensure that you and your partner are in tandem, you're prepared for it, right? So there is a lot of bonding that's required during that period. So make sure you have a lot of these talks with your partner. Make sure you tell him each and every feeling or emotion that you go through, so he is prepared to take care of you, rather than wonder, oh my god, like what's happening. then you have to educate yourself in every which way possible. So ask your gynecologist or your doctor as many questions as you can. Reach out to a professional if you feel that the hospital is not supportive enough, but make sure you know your mode of delivery, where you would want to deliver, how comfortable are you. So if the gynecologist is suggesting something, please ask questions. Make sure that you're mentally well prepared, that if it's a planned C-sec, then which time of the month are you most comfortable with? Of course, providing whatever your doctor says. By those guidelines, just be prepared. Read books, listen to podcasts. There are lots of stuff available on pregnancy, pre-pregnancy, post-pregnancy. So make sure you educate yourself. Then, most importantly, set your boundaries within your family. So if you think your in-laws are going to be a great addition to your family post your delivery or during pregnancy, you need help, reach out. And if you think that you would rather go with a professional company or a professional expert, please let the family know that this is something that you would prefer. So your mental happiness, your mental well-being takes precedence over everything else. And lastly, financially. So this is one of the most important aspects that women forget for whatever reason. But financially, you need to be very well prepared of bringing a new entity in this world. So make sure you've planned for your emergencies, your insurance, everything is taken care of, because pregnancy or delivery can bring unexpected expenses, and you and your partner should both be prepared as a family. So this is something that, yes, it does need a lot of preparation.
This is the best advice you can give every female who is planning pregnancy.
Thank you.
Deepa, tell me something. How crucial is mental and physical support for a new mother?
So I think it's extremely crucial before you deliver. So prenatal access to healthcare, going to the right kind of hospitals, or going to the right kind of doctors giving you the right kind of advice, or going to a yoga specialist or a Pilates specialist who will take you through that challenging period leading up until pregnancy. So you're physically fit to endure that. And whatever the process might be, it can be a normal delivery, can be a cesarean, whatever you choose to, or whatever your gynecologist recommends. This kind of physical support helps you better prepared for that particular time. In terms of mental support, yes, please reach out to the healthcare groups that are available. There are a lot of parenting and motherhood groups that are available these days, online and offline, both ways. There is a lot of professional care available in the market, experts like us sitting there and giving advice or consultation to new moms. Also, so things like lactation guidance, massage therapies to heal physically, or going to a proper nutritionist who suggests you what is the right kind of diets that you follow, not for losing weight, but to recover, because it takes a huge toll. So our skin suffers, hair suffers, bone suffers, pretty much everything in the body goes through a huge change, and you are an expert on that.
It takes quite a while as well.
It takes quite a while. So nutrition and these kind of activities, a lot of support around you helps you recover faster. So it is very, very important.
Deepa, being with a lot of new moms, what do you think, how important is nutrition?
Nutrition plays a very, very key role in recovery. So it aids in recovery, right? It like your body's gone through this whole miracle of life, as we call it. You need a lot of good food to recover. And when I say good food, please seek a professional help if you don't think there is enough help in the house available. Make sure you're eating the right quantity of protein, be it vegetarian or non-vegetarian forms. Make sure you're having iron intakes, because there's a lot of blood loss that that happens through the physical the labor that we go through. You need omega-3 to make sure your skin, hair, everything else looks perfect. Also your calcium is required because you need to recover, your bones need to recover, your bone health needs to recover. And proper nutrition not only plays an important part in the physical recovery, which means you are up and about to take care of yourself and your child and your family if needed, it also aids in mental health.
Right.
When you're fed well, you tend to perform well, as simple as that. So if you take care of what goes inside, that's the output is going to be equally good. So that's where nutrition plays a key role. Yeah. So one other thing that I would like to add here is breastfeeding. So proper lactation is extremely important for women, and what you eat helps you in that milk flow, or easing the whole breastfeeding process. So again, that's where nutrition comes in. You need to eat the right amount and the right kind of foods to ensure that you're giving the best to your baby.
Right. And Deepa, is there any importance of massages, especially in the postnatal care?
Oh yes, I cannot stress enough on the importance of getting professional massages, and by which I mean companies or therapists who give you that kind of massages, because your body is going through that process, and there are times when you're sitting through the night trying to feed the baby. There are times when the baby is not feeling well. There are times when your body is recovering from all the pains and the aches that you've gone through during the labor. There are times when you can't find comfort in any sleeping position, like a whole lot of issues that a woman goes through. All these can be solved through massages. And by professional massages, you need to know that there are certain kind of hot stone massages. So these stones are some river stones specific to a region, and those are used. So they are heated stones placed on the body to ensure that your body stays warm enough and it receives the proper blood flow through that. So when you're getting massage in a proper manner, it aids in recovery. Okay. It helps you heal. That's how important the massages are. You could go for a nice hot oil massage, put some nice hot oil in your hair. There are a lot of products that are used in skincare and hair care to make sure that whatever you lose after you deliver, because pre-delivery you're doing everything right, because you're responsible for that child that's coming into the world. Post-delivery you become lazy for yourself, so the entire focus is on the child, on the baby, and during that time is when a mother needs to look after herself more than anybody else. So massages play an extremely important role in getting rid of the water retention, getting rid of the backaches, or stress, joint pains. Right. All these are healable through massages.
Right. That's an amazing thing. And I've heard a lot of stories behind this 45 days of treatment. What is the exact story behind that?
So surprisingly though, before I read the medical terms for it, in all cultures, I think so, in Indians there is a typical 40 to 45 day period that a woman is not expected to go out. You could go out, but that's not because of any other restrictions, but because cultures over time have realized that 6 weeks is pretty much the time that it takes way longer to recover fully, but 6 weeks minimum is required for a woman to heal, to go through that process, and to kind of ease into that process of new motherhood. So that's where that 45 days, be it in medical terms, I'm sure even doctors would tell you that this is the 6 weeks is pretty much
takes time to come back to
its normalcy. So that is the time, and in all cultures, in Middle Eastern culture as well, typically 40 to 45 days, a woman is supposed to look after herself. Eat well, sleep well, if possible, of course, when help is available. And that's why this term, so typically about 6 weeks, so 40 to 45 days is in all cultures and medically a term that's given to a woman to recover.
Right. And Deepa, we know once you deliver, sleep is the hardest thing and you really sometimes even cry to have some peaceful sleep, right? So how important is sleep?
Wow. They say an 8 hours of sleep is miracle. Like once you've slept properly, you can take on the world.
Yeah.
And that's how it is for a new mom. More so because she's endured this whole thing of labor pains and even pre-pregnancy. It's not easy to get, as in before you deliver, it's not easy to sleep. I mean, you have difficulty in sleeping on one side, the other side, on the back. All these issues are anyways there, which is the reason why you should hire somebody professional, a therapist, to take care of yourself and the baby. So while you are catching up on that sleep, the therapist is taking care of the baby.
Right.
It can be family as well, if you trust the family enough or if you can count on them. But you need to reach out for help. Once you've slept enough, you've got enough sleep, it automatically lifts that anxiety or that stress,
right,
because you've recovered. So then you are well equipped to take on the rest of the day. And new motherhood can bring enough and more challenges. You can't expect a normal day, right? There is something always happening with the baby, with yourself, with the household, with your other sibling, with your other child. Anything can happen. So sleep ensures that you are sane enough to take on the world.
So it's most powerful tool for recovery.
100%, yes.
Deepa, what are the challenges that a mother can face if a proper care is not received?
So I'm sure when it's a very cliched line, but whenever you get on the flight, they always say, put on the oxygen mask for yourself first, and then you help others. Yeah. That's how a mother's recovery or self-care is important. So if that is not given, you don't have enough oxygen to function. What good is it going to do to your family? Pretty much nothing. There are physical challenges you face, because if you don't look after yourself in that first 6 to 8 weeks after delivery, you ignore your health, you ignore your nutrition, it has really long-term effects on a woman's health, because biologically that 6 to 8 weeks is extremely crucial for recovery. Right? That's when you should be taking care of yourself by any means possible. Say walking gives you good activity. It feels like you need to walk for a little bit. You need to eat the right kinds of food to ensure that that mentally you're up and about to take care of your family. Then the mental support becomes extremely important. If things are not right in the house, please seek professional help. There are counseling groups available. There are psychiatrists, help available these days, and there is no harm or there is no shame in accepting that things are not right, or as a new mom you don't feel up to it. So if that is denied to a woman, if that mental support is denied, it can have really long-term effects on her health, her family's health, her relationship with a partner, which can go completely, it can mess up the whole thing. With the family, she can start resenting the family for not supporting her that time, for not understanding her. So there will always be some kind of an built-in anger, and that same anger and resentment, or that anxiety or stress or lack of self-confidence passes on to the child, because with all the struggles that we have in the current scenario in the world needs more happier children. The world needs more happier families. Right. And that onus is completely on the mom, provided she gets enough and more support around her. Right. So that's how important it is to give the new mom like physical and mental support both. Right. Without that support, I think the world's going to be a tougher place.
I know, Deepa, you help a lot of mothers through their journey. Would you like to give us few tips, especially for the working mothers, to navigate the transition into the motherhood after birth?
Oh, wow, it is tough. For new working moms, it is tough. I know working from home is an option these days, so that's a blessing. But again, if you have to transition back to work, I think the first thing that you should do is plan well ahead. So it shouldn't come in as unless of course it's something unplanned that's happened. Even then, communicate with your employer, communicate with your employees if you're an employer, that you're going to be unavailable, or you're going to be able to do or take on only these many tasks. The more clearer the communication is, the more helpful and the more ready the team around you is. So it can be your employer, it can be your employees, or the whole work system around you. So be clear on what and how much you can take on. Don't take on more than just out of that sheer guilt or the FOMO that kind of catches up with sometimes with new moms. Don't take on more than you can physically achieve, because it just adds on to the stress which is already there in adjusting to this new change that has happened in your family. Again, plan your lactation journey as well in advance. So speak with a lactation consultant if you don't know how to go about it. If you're planning to continue to breastfeed, you will need to make a routine. You will need to ensure that there is enough and more milk at home for the baby to be okay with. If you're planning to go the formula way, also ensure that you try and test these formulas much before you plan to go back to work, so the baby is well adjusted and there are no such issues like constipation or loose motions or upset stomach with a new baby, or colic or whatever you may call it. Then again, you have to communicate with your partner as well. So if you're planning to get back to work, you need to ensure that the duties of managing the home and the baby are split equally. It shouldn't happen that you're killing it at work as well, and then you come home and then you're loaded with responsibilities. Whatever you may say, it takes a toll. So make sure that communication within the family, if you have an elder child already, make sure that you prepare him or her as well for this new arrival, right? Because all this while that child is the center of your attention, has been the center of your attention. Suddenly there's this new baby in the house and he or she takes up most of your time, and it's not going to be an easy transition if you don't have clear communication again with your child. Set up a routine, make sure you plan in advance, make sure you kind of put those boundaries, like I said, very clearly at the workplace, that this is what it is going to be, this is how much time I can spend outside my home, and this is when I need to be home. And if God forbid there are health checkups that are needed or whatever, you need to make sure your employer is okay with that. Otherwise, then I suggest you look for better opportunities, because this is unless and until it's a financial compulsion, don't put yourself through that stress of listening and adjusting everywhere. Self-care is a must, so make sure you have time in between work and in between taking care of the baby for yourself, to lie down, to sleep, to read a book, to watch TV, to listen to music, to go for a small walk, whatever gives you comfort, but make sure you have that me time. Make sure and yes, nutrition, I can't stress enough. So this is where all those post-pregnancy tips help in. Once your body is ready, is recovered, food is fuel for the body, and you eat the right fuel, you can function on full speed. But if you don't take care of that, so make sure your meals are planned. If you don't have time to cook, make sure you're either ordering or whatever, just hiring some professional to do it. But these are the tips which will ease your transition. Right. I'm not saying it's still going to be easy, but at least it kind of takes away the stress of oh my God, like what just hit me.
Yeah. Deepa, seeing a lot of patients in my daily practice, I know one fact that females really hesitate to go to a clinic or to a gynecologist after their delivery. They have this trauma in their mind. What would you like to say about it?
So I highly recommend even to our clients and women who have just delivered, that once during your postpartum period, at least go and get a proper checkup done, get a blood test done. And these days, there are blood tests at home, doctors on call that are available. Expert care is available just on the phone. It's just a matter of just picking up the phone and booking it, or booking it through an app, whatever works. But I think it's extremely crucial to get that checkup done, to find out if you're on the right track, if you're getting enough nutrition, if there's any deficiency, if you need to add on any supplements that are essential to your recovery. And this is purely another way of self-care, right? We spoke about nutrition, sleep, physical support, mental support, but I think going back to a physician once at least during that postpartum period is very important for you to find out if your body is recovering at the right speed, ensuring that in future you don't have these issues, right? You don't have any health issues, you don't have any deficiencies, and you're well equipped to take care of your family and yourself.
Yeah, I would like to add on that anemia is something we have seen very commonly, especially after delivery. This is because we ourselves hesitate to go to a doctor.
True.
Yeah.
True. So I think no, barring that trauma of going back to the hospital, go somewhere where you're comfortable, and we know that there are services available in Dubai, just at the click of a button, and you will have the best care at home. So you need not even go anywhere.
Right. True. Deepa, being an expert of postnatal care, what is one thing which you will like to change if you can do so?
It pains my heart to see that not a lot of educated young couples understand the after effects of postpartum depression, or how just a simple act of hiring a professional caregiver, hiring a professional postnatal caregiver can change their lives. It can, that's one thing that I would like to change. I would like to see this, see corporates doing more towards new mums, like talking about breastfeeding facilities in the office, being more inclusive of new mums, or helping new moms adjust to this, this whole transition of going through this whole thing. So this empathy and understanding is what I would love to see more, especially in new fathers. So they say that fathers bond with the new baby much later than the mothers, right? True. The mothers have had that within them. So it's an extension of the new mom, whereas a father has to adjust to the existence of this new one in the family, right? So I wish a lot of new fathers read up or reach out to the experts to understand how they can support their wives or their partners during this phase. So this is what I would love to see. I would love to see more participation from both the workplace and the new fathers and the families, of course.
So both of them enjoy this journey really well.
Yes, absolutely.